Okay, so we got this all done here. Now let's I'll pull out so we can kind of see where we're at. So this is where we're at right there. See how pretty? That looks really, really pretty. Now well, we've just got these two little flowers up here to do and the leaves, and we're done. So I'm gonna keep the harmony going, and so since like these are pink over here and then this is that color and then they're the same flowers, so let's just finish it off by doing the same way. So let's grab the blush pink and let's go for the middle out with this. Oh, the middle out. Okay. Okay, middle out. And we're going to go here with the middle out. Okay, then let's grab process red. It's the color we've been using, and we will bring the color out. Process red. Process red. Just bring the color out, deepening the base of the pretty flower. This picture came out really pretty, isn't it? Oh, we're almost done with it. And what am I going to pick next to color? Huh, I don't know. I don't know what I feel like doing. Alright. But right now, I gotta stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. I don't want to think about what I'm going to do next or in the future. I'm just going to be thinking right now about this beautiful flower and about having a calm, peaceful mind and just being happy in being now, being alive and being able to do this, feeling blessed. Let's take some, how about, do I want to do dark purple or maybe change this up a little bit? And let's grab some, let's see, let me see what the pomegranate looks like. No, I don't really think, well, I guess so. Let's just use this as pomegranate. So, we've used this before. The pomegranate. It's number 195 pomegranate. And we'll put a little of that in here for the darkness of it. Keep our variety going. Because we don't, I mean, if we did it all, every flower, they're similar, but they're not exactly the same, you know, which is good. It provides interest to the piece because you're like, okay, that's nice flowers, and it's got the same similar tones as the other one, but just maybe a little bit different. And we need to do right in here. Alright. And then now let's take, I think instead of using a white, let's get a, let me see, I'm just trying to look and see what color I want to use a, Do I want to use, yeah, I'll take the blush pink and let's use blush pink to blend that in into the white area. See? Blend that in. Just put your blush pink and go over it and use that as your blender. I'll still use white at the tip, but I'll use it over this. I think that white was a little stark. Okay, so that looks really good. Now we could take the white and just blend it in. Just the tips though, don't go all the way to the bottom because then you're going to lose the darkness in the bottom. But just soften it up a little with the white. It just gives it a little bit of softness. Okay, now we need to put some yellow in the middle. Leave some of the tips white. And then let's use our orange, our yellowed orange again on some of them. I'm just doing the middles. And then some of that Scarlet Lake on some of them in the middle, just a couple of them. Okay, that's good enough. You don't want to do too many. You want it to have a nice look to it. Now let's grab some hot pink, and do this little guy and these little guys. These are just these little buds. Some hot pink and some processed red, and do the little ball and just processed red on the base. Okay, and we need to grab one of your greens. Grab any green. This is spring green. Okay, okay, now we gotta get these leaves going. So I have green out, so I might as well just, see, I'm randomly just putting in some green. Just random, because I know I'm going to add yellow, right? So just put in some green. Some random spots. Random. Okay, now let's get our yellow, and I'm going to pull out a little bit here so you can see, and then just put the yellow in the tips and in part of the vein. See? Looks very nice. And okay, goes by fast once you know how to, you're used to the colors. And all right, now we need some orange, that yellowed orange. Let's put a little in just where you want a little glow. Some areas. See, I'm just kind of randomly putting in some orange, random. Okay, now we'll grab our peacock green again, and we will give the leaves its little finishing touch. We might need to put a little espresso in there to get it darker, like we did before. But for right now, let's put these in here. A little bit in there. Okay, let's see. We got to do over this one. And this one. down here, this guy, this little baby there. Okay, we need this pretty one. Okay, and in here I'm just making it all dark because that was in the shade underneath underneath that little flower that we didn't do yet. Okay, there we go, and a couple more. A couple more here, and one more right here. This guy, this little baby, this little leaf needs some love. There we go. All right, now, oh, I forgot one right here. Don't want to forget any. Okay, now I am going to grab espresso, and I want to put some dark in here because I want to. I like that for an excuse, because I want to. And I'm going to put a little in here. Okay, and maybe a little down in here. A little over here. And maybe a little underneath its tail to make the leaf really kind of stand out a little. Blending in too much. See right over here? I just put a little in there. And then I think we need a little up in here. Let's put some in there. A little underneath this one. Right here. I'm just gonna come up in here. Okay, I think we're good. There's a little part right in here. I think it needs some pizzazz. There. And I think it needs a little in here too. Actually, it just really brings it out a little more. All right, don't you think? Okay. Now, I'll put a little up the stem here. Why not? A little bit up the stem. I got a stem over here. And I need to put some green in these stems. We didn't do these little flowers here yet, so I forgot a couple. I'm just going to grab some lavender. This is just lavender. I just grabbed whatever was nearest me. Just grab whatever color you want. Make them. You don't really see them, but still, gotta get them in there. Okay, now we got this little flower to do, and we know that the whole thing is going to be yellow, so this one will go really fast and easy. Then we'll do a little bit of the background. Okay. That went fast and easy because it's not really a lot to it. It's just, we're just coloring that in. Now let's take our yellow to orange, and that went in the middle. And then leave these little rim here alone and just bring out the orange on them, on the outside leaves. Okay, and now let's get the scarlet lake, and this is where you just got to be a little careful. Don't get the those little inside leaves that are there, because they need to stand out more. And I'm just bringing the color out. Okay, and then we want a little bit of the red in the middle of that cup. Okay, and then let's take that yellow ochre again and tone down the yellow a little, so it's not quite so bright. Leave the middles alone, just the outsides. Okay, I just added a little yellow ochre, just a couple of leaves, and we're done. Oh, I didn't do this leaf though. Look, see, I forgot one. So I got to do this leaf here, and don't want to leave anything without its detail. All right, so this baby is done. Now what we need to do is we need to now put your name in there. So I am going to take a black colored pencil, and I am just gonna, I'll just sign it. I'll just put my name in here, Lisa, and my last name, Brando. Ta-da! And there we have it. But we're not done yet, because I think we need to put a little bit of color on the inside of that. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take this pretty powder blue that we used before, and just lightly, right along the edges, you see how I'm doing this? I'm just lightly, see? And just come in, and lightly as you get in more towards the middle, do a very light touch, but more darker when you're in here. So just lightly put in, start this blue, pretty little baby blue, and then again nice and light as you get towards the middle, and then you can have it darker on the sides, and you could barely see it. It's just see, it's just a little highlight. You'll be able to see yours better than you can in the camera, but just lightly, just very lightly. And then darker in here where it's near the goodness. Okay, see? It just has a very little light tint of blue. We're going to make it darker, but we want to start with the light first. Okay. I guess do the inside there too. Okay. Alright, and then let's just do that in here too. You can go darker in here because this is, and then just lightly darker in here, but lightly start just to fade it in nice and light as you go out. I'm turning it so that it's more comfortable for me in my hand, and I'm just kind of, now I'm going very light again up in here. See, I don't even know if you could see it, that's how light it is. If you hit the little bottom button on the right hand side of the video, there's a little I don't know, like it looks like a box, and it'll enlarge this picture for you, so you'll be able to see it really close up. You lose a little quality, but you'll be able to see it really close up. See, yeah, that kind of blended the black pencil a little bit, but it's all right. Just nice and lightly. Just go all the way around. Little circles. And then when you get towards the middle, lighter. Nice and light. Little circles. And just keep working with it. You're just making a nice background. Okay, and then in here, you can make it darker. Okay, in here you can make it darker too. You make it darker in here because this is kind of in between these. But out here, you want to make it nice and light. I better get your little duster going. And you might want to put a clean paper down too. And keep working with it. And then turn it. And then we're doing up in here now. So just okay. Just keep working. You can have it darker when it's up against, you know, your actual picture. And like in here, I think this could be darker. But again, use circles and go one direction one way and another direction a different way. That way you don't have the, you know, if you just went like this, you'd have straight lines. But if you did do that, then make sure you go the opposite way afterwards to get rid of those lines. But for me, I think it's just kind of better if you just do little circles. That way you get, you know, nice even fill without the lines. This could be darker in here too. Okay. See, let's go out a little so you can see. See, it's just got a little hint of color, darker when it's up in these little areas here. Even this can even be a little darker, but I'm going to add some other blues too, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm going to add a darker blue. But right now we just want a nice hint of this light, pretty blue. And so just keep putting your color and go all the way around. You might need a rest if your hand gets tired or if it gets crampy. I'm doing this real time so you can see it's not really that hard. You just let's put the color in. I shouldn't use my hand on there. Sometimes it's tempting to do that, but you can really wreck your picture when you use your hand to, you know, you could blow on it. That would work to get the dust off. You know, just whatever works for you. You don't want to get lightheaded. Okay. In here too, don't forget, in this little area. So this has got some nice area where we could fill in with the blue. Alright. That didn't take long at all, did it? Now we got the blue in. You may want to put it in here too, in this little area. I'll put that in there. Okay, and wherever else you want to put it. Alright, so now we've got a nice little hint of blue in there. It's really, really nice and light and pretty. Now let's take the non-photo blue and just lightly, very lightly, you're just going around the edges with the non-photo blue now. But again, fade it in to the top. But just, and you don't even have to do it on all areas, just on some, just in some areas. It just gives it a little bit more of a blue tint in some areas where you want. Just in some, you know. See how I just went just along the little bottom there, and then maybe in here. Go a lot tighter, and let's see. So just like maybe in here, you can have it a little darker because, and then lighten it up as you come up here. Lighten it up, and then you can put it darker in here if you want, because it's in the shade, so you know there's other things around it, so you can make that a little darker. See, you can make that a little darker here, and then over here you want it to be lighter, so just maybe a little hint of color on the outside of that flower if you want. But very light, and I just did a couple little areas. You don't want to do too much. You just want a nice, pretty effect. Okay, and then let's do some in here. Nice blue. And it just adds, doesn't it add a nice, pretty, a lot of people, they're so afraid of the background, but as you can see, it's really not that big of a deal. Just, you have to work with it is all. You know. Look at how pretty. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So now let's just, if I do say so myself, does that sound like I'm not being humble? Because I am humble, believe me. I just, if something looks pretty, I just say it looks pretty. Doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm awesome or anything. It just says it's pretty. I gotta sharpen my pencil. Okay. So now I sharpen my pencil, I can really get in here. Just follow along with me if that helps you. Just take your time and see, I put it darker in there because, you know, it's behind something. So it looks a little better. Now in here, you gotta be careful in here because down here is okay to have it a little darker, but then let's lighten it up as you come around here. And then you can do darker in here, but then lighten it up as you come down. Nice light touch, blend it in. See how I blended that nicely? I want it too stark. See, it gradually feathered down into the color. Same thing here. Same thing here. See how I'm just kind of lightly fading it into the blue behind. Okay. Lightly here, nice and light. And you can go darker up in here. You can go darker in here, but then start lightening your pressure of your hand as you come down. Okay. And the same thing here. You could have a little dark, but then fade it in. Fade it up. Let's do it in here. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to use for one more color. Maybe I might pick a lavender instead of a dark blue. I don't want to use a green because I mean a yellow, because if we used a yellow then it would have a green tint, and I don't really want a green tint. I like the blue. I don't even know if I don't know, maybe a little lavender. We'll see. Just for right now, let's just finish this and get these looking pretty up in here. Just gonna put your background in so that you're happy with it. There. Okay, now up in here, this area, maybe we can use a little bit of darker blue, a little highlight, blue in here. Gotta really work on fading it into the other color. Really, because you don't want any stark, drastic, like if I just, let's say I just left it, look, see, like that, and then I didn't blend that in. Look, see, that wouldn't, see, like that right there. If I just left it like that, that's bad, right? So you don't want that. So you just have to lightly fade it in so that it's blended. And you don't want these stark lines that occurs. So you have to work with it to get it so that it's nice and blended in. Not hard to do, it just takes a little time. And just make sure you just have your really light touch. You can always go darker, but just add the layers on slowly. Just slowly add them on, and it'll get darker and darker as more pigment gets onto the paper. See, but then you could blend it in nicely. See the blend? The blend is what's really important when you do these backgrounds. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, let's pull out. See, that looks really nice. And then you can go in areas where you could see that you say to yourself, you know, like, okay, maybe I want it a little darker in here. And so you just work with it. Like I thought it needed a little bit darker right in here. So just make it darker, blend it up. Blend it up, take your time. Just take time to get it perfect. You worked this hard to get such a pretty picture. You don't want to mess it up by leaving and making a crappy background. Okay, that looks really good like that. I'm gonna just see for the heck of it if I like lavender. I could just start in one spot and then I'll know right away if I like the lavender. Oh, I kind of do. Oh, I kind of do. Look. Look at the lavender. Here, let's get closer. Look at the lavender. Can you see it adds a kind of a nice, it does add a little bit of a nice, that watercolory look to the bottom. And I don't need to put it everywhere. Just put it like here. You probably see if we put it in here. Look, just a little bit. Look, you don't need a lot. But just a little bit. Just give it a little, just a little touch. It just needs a little hint. But it does look pretty. Again, and it shows detail, and it shows that we took our time, and there's a variety of color. Just need a little. Not even very much at all. Just a little teeny bit. Let's put a little in here. Let's put a little right in here, huh? Just a little. In this area here, just, see, just a little bit. But look, it added just enough interest to make it pretty. That's what we want. Make it even by putting some in here. Needs a little bit of lavender in here. And we could even add some little bit of ultramarine blue, maybe, if we wanted to. But I'm gonna put some where in here, maybe a little lavender in there, just a little bit. See, it just really, I mean, you can't barely see it, but it's enough. It's enough to make it look extra pretty. Look at that, just enough. It's extra prettiness. Yeah, a little in here. See that? Okay. And our masterpiece is complete. Now, if you want to, you could add some maybe some ultramarine blue on, you know, towards the middle parts if you like it to be a little bit more dramatic. I'm not going to on mine, I don't think. Plus the video is already long enough. And I'm happy with it. But if you do want to make it darker, you could do that. So there it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I hope you liked yours. Let's get a little closer. Here, we'll see our final work. Let's move up. And go to the sides. Okay, we did that. A pretty pink flower. Beautiful birds. And the bottom of the wings. And we did it! Yay! We did a good job. It's very, very pretty. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out, coloring with me. And let's, I hope I see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. And please like and subscribe, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.